happiness is the reason you're not progressing. Now, in the last few weeks, you probably noticed that you're kind of happy right now. You've made quite a lot of progress in self-improvement. Maybe you've really improved your physique over the last year or two. Maybe your skills with girls or social skills in general. But now it seems that your progress is stalled. It's like you're a plateau, or you're even regressing. It's because you're happy. And this is the trap that I'm trying to figure out. Why? Why is this happening? I've noticed over the past few weeks that when I'm happy, I seem to let things slide and not take things seriously. For example, today, I was with my friends and then they were talking about going to the bar on the weekend. And suddenly I said, I'll join you. And they're all like happy at you, like, oh, finally you're coming with us after fucking 6 months. You know, they're like, I never go to the bar with them, very, very rare, right? And, you know, I used to go to it quite often. Not often, maybe like 2-3 times a month. No, one or two times a month. But then I kind of stopped after maybe, I would say February. I completely stopped because I realized, you know, drinking is the reason why I'm really not progressing. And so today I said, bro, I fuck it. I'm gonna go with you guys. Because today I also got my exam results back. I got B in German, A in English, and an A in maths. I'm fucking happy with that. I'm happy with that, bro. I'm happy with that. And I was really happy with stuff. You know, I was in the good mood. I didn't feel the anger of like, oh, I need a pump in the gym, I need a pump. I said, oh, fuck it, I'm gonna drink. And I remember driving on the way home. I was in the bus. I'm not driving the bus. I was on the bus. I just kind of looked at myself, like, mentally. I was like, what the fuck? Why are you drinking all of a sudden, bro? You've been locked in for so long. Alcohol hasn't even appeared in your head. You know, it's not something you're actively not trying to do. But suddenly you're drinking now, or you're planning to drink. It's like, what are you doing, bro? You know, you planned a week in the summer, and that's already planned. That's when you're gonna drink. But no, suddenly you're gonna drink on the weekend now. It's like, what are you on about? And this is something that I'm trying to figure out. And I think I've come to a solution. I haven't tried it yet. I'm trying it today. I've noticed the only way to really progress in any area in life is to be angry. Not angry all the time, but in a negative mood, where in the sense that you're hyper-focusing on your flaws and the things that need to be fixed and need to be better, instead of focusing on the things that are really good. For example, today I was really happy about my bicep, right? I was really happy about my bicep. But I guarantee you, if I was in more of that negative mood, I would have looked at my bicep and seen on some autistic level, I'll say, oh, my bicep is not good or something because of the short head is too short or something. I don't know. You, as a bodybuilder or as a gym bro, you always find some type of weird excuse to call your physique shit, even though it is kind of good. Like, I feel kind of confident in my physique right now. And I guarantee you, if I was in that negative mood, I would have found some type of flaw and I would have not liked my physique that day. For example, last week, I think I was really insecure. Like, I was in the gym and I was looking in the mirror and I noticed my fucking stomach. There's a little fat here. I was like, bro, and then I was like hyper focusing on that for like the whole day. And then like probably 2 weeks ago, I saw my gyno in the gym as well. I was like trying to take a photo, and I took a photo, and then there's like this, you can't really see it in this shirt or in this lighting, or maybe you can. I can't see in the camera right now. But I have gyno, and usually it doesn't bother me, but then that day it bothered me because I was in that hyper focusing negative mood. But the thing is, it isn't bad. It isn't bad because you notice it, you are willing to better it. You're willing to go forward, and you're willing to take the step to make it better. You know, obviously, I know I can't do anything. I have to get surgery if I want to do that. But you know, fixing other things like how my chest or my body fat percentage, that's something that could make the gyno not like that bad. So then I started, okay, let's go on the cut. You know, we've finished the bulk, let's go on the cut. And then I was like really locked in on the cut. I still am. But the fact is that today I thought about, okay, let's go drink on the weekend. I'm gonna completely fuck it up. Well, not the whole thing, but I'll probably send my progress back like, who knows, 4 or 5 days, because alcohol stays in your system and completely stops fat burning at all. Like, you won't burn fat if alcohol's in your system. And that's the thing. I still, to this day, I've not found a way to be happy and progress, or at least have significant progression at the same time. You always have to be in this negative mood where you're hyper-focusing on the little flaws in whatever, for example, your physique, or, I don't know, your social skills, your way with girls. You're always hyper-focusing on that thing. But the thing is, fucking birds, I don't know. You hyper-focus on these things, but that's not a bad thing, because it motivates you and it makes you aware of your problems. And the thing is, what I've noticed is when I'm happy, I might be aware of my problems, maybe, but I don't take it seriously. I might think, okay, maybe my shoulder feels a bit off in the training, but if I'm happy, I won't take it that seriously. If I was kind of in a negative mood, I would have taken it seriously and maybe not pushed as hard that session. I might have lowered the weight down and not go to failure. And let's say I did have the shoulder problem. I bet you the next session I would have felt a lot of pain if I was in that happy mood. But if I was in that negative mood and took the pain seriously, I could have saved myself, who knows, maybe 3-4 weeks of not going to the gym or general progress. And that's the thing. You cannot be happy and progress at the same time. I've seen it in people, I've seen it definitely in myself. It is impossible to be happy and progress at the same time. Being happy, I mean, think about it. It's kind of logical as well. If you're happy about yourself, why would you want to progress? If you were totally and utterly satisfied with an aspect in your life, if you were completely satisfied with your physique, you would not bother to make it better. I mean, it would be too much work, right? But as we notice, we might be like satisfied with our physique maybe one day, but then the next day you'll realize that, I don't know, your bicep isn't as bicepy as it could be, or some autistic bullshit like that. That's how we are, gym bros. We hyper focus on the slightest flaws in our physique. But that's the reason why we bother to progress in the first place, because we realize, you know, these flaws, and that triggers our brain, that pulls something in our brain so that we progress. And that's the only way to do it, is to be in this negative mood. But if you're in a happy mood and you look at your bicep, you'll like say, that's a good bicep, bro. That's a good bicep. And you won't bother to, well, you probably will push in the gym, but maybe you won't push as hard. Like, maybe a bad gym session, that won't bother you as much as you would, like, in a negative sense. If you had a bad gym session, and, for example, I don't know, you didn't progress on your exercises, if you're in a happy mood, you wouldn't have really bothered to look at what was wrong. But if you were in that negative mood, you would have hyper-focused on your flaws. Okay, I didn't progress. You'll be really mad, but you'll try to kind of keep yourself calm, and then you'll look at what went wrong. You'll look, okay, did I eat enough calories? Did I eat enough protein? Did I don't know, did I get enough sleep? or did I really push to failure last time? You know, you'll really hyper focus on these details, and then you'll find the solution, the problem. You'll find the problem, and then obviously make the solution. But if you're in that happy mood, you would have just said to yourself, "Oh, that was just a bad day. That's so bad. It's just one day out of 365 days in the year. It's not that bad." And then the next session, you won't progress it again because you didn't find the problem. Maybe you're eating way too little protein. Maybe you haven't realized that the leaner you get, the more protein you need, because relative to your body weight, you have more body mass. Body mass. What the fuck am I talking about? You have more muscle mass. These are things that you might have not taken into account when you're in this happy mood because you haven't bothered to look at the problem itself. And that's what I found out. It's impossible to be happy and progress at the same time. So, how do we counteract this? Obviously, we want to be happy, right? We want to be happy and we want to progress at the same time. We don't want to be in this depressed mood all the time when we're just looking at our flaws and we don't see the actual great physique you have, or you don't see how much you've progressed with women or with your social skills or in school or whatever. You don't bother to look at what change you've actually made. You will just hyper focus on the things that still need to be, still need to become better. So how do we still hyper focus on these things while also appreciating what we have? Instead of hyper focusing on the fact that, okay, you're not as big as fucking Marcus Rule, what about appreciate the fact that you have a physique at 16 years old? Or, in your situation, What about you appreciate the fact that you're in this situation? That you have the things you have, while still progressing, while still realizing that you still have flaws and you need to progress them. But that's the thing. There's no doing it at the same time. I guarantee you, if you're in a happy mood right now, and for example, something went wrong in the progress, you didn't progress in the gym, something went wrong with social skills. If you're in a happy mood, you wouldn't really bother to really look at it. If you're in a negative mood or a more angry, sad mood, you would have hyper focused on that problem and find the solution. So how do we do both things at the same time? I have a theory. I'm going to test this out for the next 2 weeks, or not 2 weeks, a couple of weeks. Instead of being in a happy mood or a negative mood 24/7, you switch it. You go from happy to sad, happy, sad. Logically, you've probably seen this in a lot of other things. Switching phases to phase leads to plateaus. For example, you can apply the same logic to the gym. If you cut and then you bulk in the same week, for the first 3 days of the week you cut and then you bulk, you're not going to progress. You're not going to lose any body fat, neither will you pull on muscle, because you're kind of switching phases and phases and phases and phases, and it's not going to make any sense what you're doing. And this is with anything really else, where, for example, if you're trying to focus on another thing in self-improvement, like maybe social skills in this area, or I don't know, mental health here, and then 3 days of the week you hyper focus on your social skills, trying to listen to the other person, and then another day you hyper focus on I don't know, on the mental health side. You're not going to progress in either one of them. But what if we can do this with the mood you're in the same day itself? What if, for example, in the morning, I'm getting ready for school. What if, for example, I do not bother to hyper focus on the problems I have now, and I go to the gym, not the gym I'm talking about, but I go to school with a happy mood. So I put on some music. This is what I found out as well, if you watch my other video, music. I use it as a tool to change my mood, and it really works. You think that it won't work because you kind of realize that Well, I'm listening to like some aggressive music, you know, you kind of realize that fact, and you will get aggressive. Usually, you will still get aggressive. You'll still, you kind of will forget that thought, and then you'll eventually get into a negative thought chain where you're thinking of, I don't know, some negative thing that happened to you in the past, or something that you're kind of mad about. This will happen when you're listening to aggressive music. The same thing with happy music. Maybe you're not even in the best mood. Something really bad happened that day. You failed an exam, but then you put in this music, and then you feel happy. Eventually, when you lose, basically that's what happens. You know, the butterfly effect in your head, where you kind of lose your train of thought. Like suddenly, one minute you're thinking about fucking monkeys, and then the next minute you're thinking about protein. It's like something happened in your head, and suddenly you're thinking about protein. That's what happened. You probably notice in your head as well, where like, you're thinking about, I don't know, your progression in the gym. Now you're thinking about your future or something, you know, like something random like that. So what if I can use this principle to change my mood to the specific situation? If I'm going to school with a negative mindset, or a more sad, angry mindset, I'm not going to pay attention. I'm not going to do the high quality schoolwork, you know, really go into the schoolwork. I'm not going to really be social with my friends because I'm in a bad mood. So if I go in a happy mood and maybe forget my problems, yeah, like, I don't know, my gym problems or whatever problems, and I just focus on school, you know, I'm a social butterfly, and I'm doing my schoolwork, you know, I do my schoolwork instead of just sitting there like a dickhead saying I can't be bothered. And then once I go out of school, I use, I don't know, heavy metal to get me in that mood, to basically realize my problems, get in that negative mood, realize that not only with like gym problems, but, you know, like life problems, like other problems in self-improvement. Like I need to better my relationship with women, I need to better social skills, or random shit like that. And then I'll get in this mood and I'll be mad, and then I'll get to the gym, I'll still be mad, pump it out, and then, you know, basically by the time I get home, it's really just work on self-improvement, right? Until I leave the gym, and then that's basically the day over, right? Because it's like 8 p.m, not 8 p.m, like 8 p.m by the time I get home. So then I have my dinner, and on the way home from the gym, I put on some music, and I'm just listening to some happy music. Because why would you bother going home with a bad mood? Unless the situation really calls for it. Like, if I don't know, injure myself in the gym, and I'm going home trying to get in a good mood, it's like, bro, you're injured, bro, get in a bad mood for the night. And then in the morning, you realize that there's nothing much you can do except, you know, take some rest. So then you go in the happy mood again. But as long as you keep track, that's the thing. I've noticed, even if you try to keep these problems in your head and get in the happy mood, you eventually you won't take it that seriously. Even with this realization, you still won't take your problem seriously when you're happy. It's crazy. It is crazy. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a sad trap that is sadly true. Holy Red Bull. It's a sad reality where you cannot be happy and progress at the same time. You have to be in a negative mood so that you hyper focus on your flaws, so you progress. It's a paradox, and it's sad. It's sad. Why can we not be happy and progress at the same time? It's a sad thing, right? Maybe you found out a solution. What I was also thinking is that if we try to imagine this as a graph, you know, if we're in a negative mood, this is how much our progress is like. You know, our progress is going up like this. And if we're completely happy and completely oblivious of our problems, we either plateau or even regress, right? But what if we can find like a middle ground where, you know, this is basically our progression when we're happy, and this is our progression when we're, you know, in a negative mood. What if we can go in the middle? Sure, we won't progress as much, but maybe we might be able to be in a happy mood while also progressing. Obviously not progressing as much. Instead of progressing like this, we're just progressing like this. That's still progression. That's still steady progression. Instead of just being like this, completely in a plateau, or even regressing. And I hope we can actually still progress like this and still be in a happy mood. But I guess it isn't that bad if we can be happy but also still progress at the same time, but maybe not in the rate, at the same rate. Maybe that's a possible thing. This is what I'm going to test out for the next couple of weeks. Basically what I'm going to do is during the day I'm going to switch moods. I'm going to switch from this to this to this to this, so that I feel happy at the same time and that I realize my problems and take action on the various problems I have that I still need to fix. That's what I'm going to try. And I'll get back to you in a couple of weeks with this same video, right? Well, the same video, but maybe an update, like a report of how this went. So, I mean, I guess if I drink on the weekend, I mean, bro, I haven't drank since February, and it's fucking June, and that's very rare for me. Since I've started drinking, I've probably drank at least once a month. It wasn't a problem. I don't have a problem, right? I don't have a problem. I guess that's what every addict says, right? I don't have a problem. I can stop whenever I want, which I did. I stopped. It wasn't like a gradual thing where I I drink, okay, twice a month or maybe once a month, okay, once every 2 months, and then I just, it was just I was drinking like once every month, maybe twice every month, and then I just like since February. So I guess I really don't have a problem, but maybe I just want to celebrate the grades, or just blow off a little steam. Maybe I was wanting to stay locked in until July. No, not July, August even. In August, I'm going to go on a holiday to Barcelona, and then, I don't know, I'm going to drink and we're going to do all this shit, clubbing and shit. But obviously, I won't progress in that. Progress in the sense, in my social life, I'll definitely progress a lot. I don't know, with women and everything. But, I won't progress in gym, Well, I probably won't progress, but neither will I regress, because in a week, basically what I'm going to do is this week, I'm on holiday, I'm going to use as a deload week. I'm not going to train, not going to take care of my diet. I will neither lose muscle, my tendons will recover, everything is great, right? Obviously my liver might not recover, but that's what I wanted to do for the next 2 months, to stay locked in. Which didn't really seem that hard to me. Like, me not going out with my friends, staying up late, going drinking, it wasn't hard. Like, it was a problem, not a problem. It was a decision that I made in the second. Like, do I go with my friends today? Do I go out today? Do I drink today? No. It wasn't a contemplation. It was a complete decision. But today I said, okay, do I do it? And I said yes. I literally told my friends I'm going with them to the bar. I'm still contemplating in my head. Whatever. I hope you learned something.